Hi, Terry. I'm happy that you're here. Stevie, good morning. All right. I feel like I'm dressed for the frozen tundra, but it is kind of cold. Um, all right. So, how is everyone today? Let me see. Michael, good morning. How are you? All right. So, anything in particular that you would like to address today? Definitely been focusing a lot more on strength since the beginning of the year. And so, but of course, going at your own pace is always what you should do. Let me get my socks off. I wear my boots and my socks till the bitter end because it's kind of chilly. All right. So get yourselves ready. And I'm going to go. Okay. So, time to practice yoga. So, the word yoga actually means to yoke or union, and it is the union of the mind, body, and soul. It is about coming in complete harmony in every aspect of you. So, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it. So, it is this moment to take care of ourselves, to slow down, to do something that we're not always doing, right? We're always go, go, go. And this is a human being time. This is time to go from human doing to human being. So it's a really profound practice and not just an exercise. It's such a deep, amazing practice. So for today, wellness, doing whatever feels right in your body. I recommend that you close your eyes when you practice so you could feel your way into movements and shapes. And it is about that. It's about bending joints, compressing, stretching, and trying to kind of reshape yourself. So the body you start with, the body you show up to your practice is different than the body you leave the mat with. And that's why at the end of the practice, we do a posture called Shavasana. And, I studied in India, and what my teacher said is that we have such a big fear of death, fear of dying. We're alive, and then we're fearful of dying. So Shavasana is actually practicing what a death posture is. It's called corpse pose. And he was saying that if you see people, I guess maybe even before cremation, and I'm not sure if it's always cremation, but you'll see bodies and the way that they're, in this position. And really the traditional Shavasana posture is that, where you are in that position. But it's to actually, maybe in some ways, really not be so attached to life as humans and living, but rather to understand that there is no end, that we are in the form, which is our form, our body, and then we leave it. So maybe a little bit of a deeper thought process, but it really is what I love about this practice of yoga and all the wisdom that comes with it, beyond strengthening your bones, your muscles, your joints, and your range of motion. It's really a much deeper practice. And if you treat it like that when you show up to the mat, you close your eyes, you go inward, you actually receive these tremendous benefits on really deep levels, which is so important for healing. So today, take your practice to that level where it really is all of that for you. So I did get some extra props today because props can actually facilitate we could release our body weight in a way that brings in a little more relaxation. So I am going to use a bolster underneath my legs. If you had a blanket that you could roll up or pillows you could put underneath your knees, that may be something that you could use, or you could come into a regular flat position. And then the props we'll need later will be the block and the strap. We're going to use the ground to help with posture, to help strengthen, or to help put ourselves in a nice aligned position. And then we're going to use our hands on our body and do one of my favorite breath patterns, which is to breathe into the lower, the middle, and the upper lungs to really fully bring in breath and to see it in this expansive way that it is. So When we are on the ground, we're going to put our hands on chest and on belly and feeling the reference of movement with breath into our body so that we understand how to bring breath deep into the body. And then the whole shallow aspect, most of the time we're up here breathing. So we really need to deepen the breath and bring the breath deep into the body. So this is going to go underneath my knees. It's really relaxing for hip joint, for low back. So I like to show different things so that whenever you are going to come and do your own practice or take the time out to relax, that you'll have something at some tools in your treasure chest, healthy aging tools. So we're going to come down on the ground and pay attention to your mental energy. The more active your mind is, the harder it is to come down and to find that relaxation. Yet the more often you practice this, the easier and more accessible it'll be for you. So we're going to come down onto the ground. And then the block or the pillows or the blanket or the bolster, whatever it is you have, if you have something, will go underneath your legs. And then have the blanket underneath your head and using gravity here to help with posture. Can you use a very small amount of blanket behind your head? So exploring, and maybe if your blanket's really high, unfold it a little, make it a little more so it's still comfortable for you, yet your head is not up here. So try to arrange the blanket behind you so that your head is more in alignment with your spine if you can. And then you can also, in a few moments, make it shorter once your body is opened up a little more in this position. And then before you do anything, I want you to bring your awareness back to your shoulder blades and back to your spine. So feel the shoulder blades, which are right here in the upper part of the back. And see if you could feel the shoulder blades. Are they pushing into the ground? Do you feel one pushing in more than the other? So if you did have any scoliosis in your spine, any curvature, which can happen with aging, and for some, it may be congenital, something you may have had most of or all of your life, or it could be something that develops later on in life, many different causes behind that. So pay attention to where your shoulders are, your shoulder blades. And then let's take the upper arms into the ground, lift the rib cage away from the ground, and then actively slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine. And then let your body rest on your shoulder blades. Let your low back settle. Let your body rest. And then bring your awareness to your arms, to your shoulders. Close your eyes. Notice if that brought up any tension on one side or the other. And then take your arms slowly out to the side. Go slow with the eyes closed. And start to move your arms to the side. With your shoulder blades on the ground like this, press your shoulder blades towards the ground. As you move your arms away, notice if both of them feel the same level of stretch. And then bring the elbows back towards your body, down towards your waist. Keep your palms up towards the sky. Inhale, let your hands move away from you. Eyes are closed, palms are up towards the sky, feeling and noticing. And then exhale, elbows back. Notice if you feel or hear any clanging or clicking of your bones. That's at the joints. And then notice what you feel in terms of a stretch in the soft tissues. Muscles, ligaments, tendons, fascia. Start to let your arms go a little farther overhead. Eyes are closed. The elbows come down towards your waist. Palms are up towards the sky. Hands are open. And then match the breath with the movement. You inhale to lengthen, to reach away from your body. You exhale to contract and come back to your body. Then push your heart up towards the sky. Push the shoulder blades into the ground. Continue to do this movement. Notice if you feel anything in the belly area or in the low back. And being very observant of your body right now, doing a little posture assessment, a little shoulder girdle assessment, the arm bones, the shoulder blades.
And then let's do a little shoulder mobility assessment. So bring your arms down alongside your body. Palms are down on the ground. Fingertips are reaching down towards your toes. Notice what happens at the back of the shoulder blades. Do you feel them pressing into the ground? Do you feel one side more than the other? For those of you that have any kind of curvature in the spine, any kind of scoliosis, you may notice that one shoulder blade is pressing into the ground. So just paying attention, noticing, becoming observant of your joints, your alignment, and how your body is at this moment. Exhale. As you inhale, slowly lift the right arm up. Go slow. Be in your right shoulder, your right chest, right shoulder blade. Let the arm go all the way up and exhale to come back to neutral. Inhale up. And then exhale back. Let's do the same thing with the left hand. Inhale, let the left hand come up and to the back. And then noticing that, how does this shoulder joint move? Is it smooth? Is it tight? Do you feel your arm wavering? Go really slow. Do you find your arm waver side to side? Because now we're actually using the muscles of the arm without using the muscles of the shoulder girdle. So this is the arm muscles. And then let's do both. Inhaling up. Let your awareness go to your shoulder blades at the back of the body. Do you feel one side pressing into the floor more than the other? And then let your arms go all the way overhead. Eyes are closed. Your awareness is in your shoulder blades at the back of the body. Noticing, is there pressure on both sides, one side? Or do you feel anything in the belly area? This will give you some indications of where you have tightness, where you may have a little scoliotic pattern in your spine, where you may have issues in the shoulder joint, where you may have weaknesses in the arm muscles, meaning that the shoulders are doing everything as one unit instead of letting the arm do things independently. Take one more breath and then bring yourself back. So that was a little self-observation, and all of that somatic awareness actually helps to calm the nervous system and bring you into a section of your brain to help calm the internal stress in the body. So allowing more healing to be in the healing, repairing zone in the body. Let's bring the hands onto the torso. Take the arms close to your body, and then let the left hand be on the belly, the right hand be up on the chest. Spread your fingers. Pick your head up, lengthen your neck. Notice how that feels. And let's do a little side to side with the neck in case there's any tension there. Keep your head on the ground. It's not about getting to the side. It's about moving side to side and stretching the muscles along the way. Going a little farther if you can. Noticing right side, left side, are they equal? Do you feel an equal stretch? And then bring yourself back to center. Spread your fingers. Let your legs be heavy. If you do have something underneath your legs, you can lift your feet off the ground and then let them rest down onto the ground. Close your mouth, breathe in and out through your nose. Let your awareness be in your torso, noticing where the breath is when you breathe. Where does it go? Bring your awareness to your right hand, to your chest. Feel the chest move as you breathe into the chest. Isolate the breath in the chest. And then bring the breath down to the belly. Start to breathe down to your left hand on your belly. And visualize the palm, the left palm. So using the hands as a guide, using the awareness in the palms, we're going to breathe into this wave-like breath, filling up the bottom of the lungs, the middle lungs, and the top lungs, and emptying from the bottom, middle, top. So keep the mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Take a big exhale. And then begin. Inhale to the belly, lower ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, chest. Continue on your own, feeling your body move, moving through those three areas. Feel the belly fill from the bottom, middle, and top. Feel it empty from the bottom, middle, and top. Finishing your last couple of rounds. And then allow your body to breathe itself. Take your arms out to the side, bending the elbows, palms up towards the sky. Stretch your chest, stretch your shoulders, maybe even feeling that stretch all the way down to the belly, depending if you lift your arms up high or not. Closing your eyes, feeling your body breathe. See if you could emulate the belly, ribs, chest. Feel that rhythm and that rhythmic like introduction of the breath into and out of your body. Eyes are closed, mouth is closed. And allow your breath to go back to your body. Let your body breathe itself. Bring your awareness to your fingers and toes. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take your arms overhead. Reach your arms. And then if you do have a bolster or blanket or something underneath your legs, bring the soles of your feet together. And even if you don't have anything underneath, try to bring the soles of the feet together, stretching the inner thighs. This is called Baddha Konasana, stretching the adductors. These muscles, they attach onto the pelvic bone and then they attach onto the inner knee joint area. When these muscles are tight, they pull on the knees and the hips. So they have a negative effect on hip joint health and knee health if they're tight. So feel what this feels like to let your legs go like this. If you're feeling a lot of tension and tightness here, this is something maybe you bring into your life more often. And if you do elevate your feet off the ground, it's a little more forgiving than having your feet on the ground. You may also feel some tension in the hip joint at the sides or at the back. So just paying attention to where your tight areas are so you could work to create more space in your body, because that's going to take you out of pain, reduce inflammation, let the minerals that are in the joints for arthritis go back into the system to be absorbed and hopefully delivered back to the bones, and to keep you in a lined position so that when you do movement to actually create bone stimulation and muscle stimulation, you'll be in the best aligned position to create those forces necessary, especially when it comes to bone remodeling. So just observing where you are here, and then go ahead and bring your knees up, bring your knees into your chest, rocking across the top edge of your pelvis. So draw your knees in pretty deeply so that you feel the top edge of your pelvis rocking from side to side. And then let your legs go in the air and shake your legs, shake your arms. Bring yourself onto your side. From here, pushing away from the ground with your hand and with your elbow. So becoming very aware of your posture, of your spine, and of your joints, and of where they live every day. Where is their home? And especially when it comes to spinal health, because posture and alignment is really important. And if you do have scoliosis, which, you know, it's more prevalent in females, and and it is something that can happen with aging. And I notice this quite a lot in the population that I work with. So that self-assessment on the ground, where you come down onto the ground, can be really a great way for you to notice what's going on. And then if you do notice where you're tight or where things are happening in your body, you can start to unwind and lengthen what you need unwinded and lengthened, and strengthen the side that you need to strengthen, or the areas that you need to strengthen. So using the ground as a way to notice your spine, your joints, your alignment, and if you do have any scoliosis, that's a great way to do that, is to do that on the ground.
So let's move into movement and strengthening and stretching. Take your props, clear your space, bring your blanket onto the mat, and you're gonna bring your knees onto the blanket. This first warm-up sequence that we're gonna do is gonna be on our hands and knees so that we can strengthen our wrists. The thing that's really important, some of the movements we're gonna do, if you have osteoporosis, especially osteoporosis, osteopenia, not quite as precarious, but osteoporosis, and especially if you have spinal wedge fractures, this part of the spine, so right below the heart to right about where the belly button is, this area here, you do not want to compress this. So take your hands right now, right here. Take one right where, kind of where the ribs, right where the ribs, like that tall part of the ribs, take one there, and then find your belly button and bring the other hand right around there. And then when you bend forward, when you bring those hands together, that is a flexion in the spine. That's flexion in the spine. And so we do not want to do that. So if there's any movements, I want you to always pay attention to this area of your body. Flexion in the spine. Don't let your hands come together. Here's another thing. When you bend, try to bend, pushing your pelvis back. Notice how your hands do not move at all. Do not move your hands when you bend. So really push your hands into your body. Don't let them come closer towards each other. Watch the difference. Now, if you bring your hands towards each other as you're bending, the hip joint isn't doing very much of it. The spine is doing it. We don't want that. So when we're doing our movements today, let's pay attention to what's happening here. Is this part coming closer together? And so really bringing that a piece of awareness. Now, remember, that's for people with osteoporosis or spinal wedge fractures. You don't want to do that. For the rest of you, you can do that, but I want you to also be careful that you're not always doing that. And so it's really important to raise awareness there. So bringing yourself onto all fours, let's begin with the cat-cow position. So imagine that you have a paintbrush taped onto your sacrum at the back of your body, and you're going to start to paint up and down the back wall. Paint up and down the back wall, as if you were painting a strip up and down. Try that. Noticing what you notice, there'll be a stretch in the back. You'll feel something in the glutes, in the hips, the belly. Maybe you're feeling something in the wrists. So push your body weight back into your legs when you do this. And then bring yourself up for a second. Let's take a little break from the hands. So really working with that tilting of the pelvis. Try that when you're up standing up here. And a good way to think about tilting your pelvis is right here is your pubic bone, right at the base of your body is your pubic bone. And the lower ribs here, right below the low ribs and right where this pubic bone is. If you think about drawing that towards each other with muscles, but we're not actually adding gravity and bending into that, right? That's what a tilting of the pelvis is. You activate the deep core support muscles. This is how you keep your spine healthy and safe. You learn how to use your core to get that posterior pelvic tilt. So this is different than us bending into something, right? We're moving our pelvis here. So get that piece of awareness. Come back onto all fours. We're going to do a little movement that will help to stretch the spine, stretch the back, and stretch the low back. So you're going to push your rib cage towards the ground. Let's do this flossing of the shoulders, moving up and down. The arms are straight. Do not bend your arms. Move your rib cage towards the ground. Move your rib cage away from the ground. Towards and away. Towards and away. Keep your elbows straight. This is a shoulder joint movement. You're sliding up and down your shoulder joint. It's called flossing the shoulders. Up and down the shoulder joint. And then come into a neutral position. Let's paint up the back wall. Let your rib cage go down towards the ground. Push your heart towards the ground. Open your throat. This is called extension or cow. Inhale. As you exhale, start to paint down the back wall. Only go towards the low ribs so you're not bending the rest of your spine. Push your body weight back. Either you stay up pretty high, or for those of you that can go all the way back, go all the way back. Inhale to come forward. Press your spine towards the ground, coming into extension. Exhale into lumbar flexion. And then bending your hip joint deeply to come all the way back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Close your eyes, feel this in your body. One more. And then bring yourself all the way up. So for me, it's just really important that you have a lot of body awareness as you're moving and you know how you need to modify according to what your needs are. So we're going to come into a little bit more of this. If your wrists are not happy, find a way to support them. Rolling up the front of the mat can be a way to support them, or invest in wedges or something if you need. Let's take the right hand forward, left hand back. And the left hand is right underneath the shoulder. So left leg is back, left hand under the shoulder, right hand forward, right leg is on the ground. Exhale. Inhale to bring yourself up, coming into as big of a back bend as you can. And then exhale, draw the knee in towards the heart. If you don't have osteoporosis, you could bring the elbow towards the knee. If you have osteoporosis, keep the arm out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, go slow. Push your left hand into the ground, push your right foot into the ground, activate your core to stabilize your trunk. One more, come out and stay. Really reach long with your hand, long with your legs. One more breath, and then bring yourself out. Right hand down, left hand forward, right leg back. Exhale. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, right knee in. Left elbow to touch right knee. Unless you have osteoporosis, left hand stays straight out. Just let the leg move, not the arm. Pay attention to the front of your ribs, the front of your spine. When you do come in, activate your core, push your belly up towards your spine. Really use the core muscles to bend your spine so that you're protecting your spine as you come into flexion. One more. Stay here. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Come all the way up. Take your wrists. Circles. And shake your wrists. Take your hands down alongside your body. Inhale up, reach up tall. Exhale, chin to chest. So moving your cervical spine, which is the 7 vertebrae in your neck. Keeping the rest of your spine non-bending, keeping it in a neutral curve. One more. And then bring yourself out. So a lot of stretching in the torso today. We're going to come into stretching our rotational muscles. So you could do this on a block. It gives you a little bit more space to come into the block. Take your right hand on the block, left hand down. Take your block forward and take your hand forward so you have a lot of space in your body. Exhale. Inhale to rotate open. Exhale back. Push your feet into the floor. Push your knees into the floor. Only let your body rotate as far as it will. One more. Stay here. And then bring yourself out. Let's go to the other side. Switch. Take your hand on the block. Opposite hand onto the ground. Exhale. Inhale to open. Exhale back.
Inhale. Exhale. Push your feet, your knees in, rotate your trunk. Feel that happening, rotating the spine. There will be some pressure on the low back. Make sure it feels okay. Last one, you're going to come open and hold. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Come all the way out. Pause. So close your eyes, pause. Sit in whatever way you can. You can be kneeling or seated. Close your eyes, go into your body, feel and notice. And then open your eyes. When we are in a kneeling position, there's more pressure, more stretching in the joints because it's weight bearing. So let's come on to our kneeling position. Now this is going to be balance and stretching. So when you bring your foot forward, this is actually a test here. There's a lot of pelvic balance that needs to take place, a lot of hip joint balance. So this in and of itself, being in this position, this asymmetrical position, does a lot of work with stabilizing muscles in the pelvis and the spine. So this is a really great way to work on balance because you're really close to the floor, but you're going to actually feel all this communication in your body. The thing here is that the wider your feet go, the more stable you'll feel, kind of like a triangle has a more stable base. The closer to center you become, so you're either close to center like you're on a tightrope, that is actually going to give your body more challenge with that. You want to make sure that the foot that's forward is not too close to your body. So you don't want your foot closer to your body than your knee. You want them either to be in alignment or for the foot to be slightly in front. So go ahead and bring the left foot forward. So come forward with your left leg, right leg is back. And from here, decide what is your stance. Should it be closer together or is it wider apart? And just be here, letting your right hip manage where you are, your pelvis figure out where you are. Notice what's happening to the left foot, the toes, the ankle. Notice this communication in your body. Take your left hand onto your left thigh. Take your right hand onto your waist and then push your right hand back, your right elbow back. So that brings that right shoulder blade onto your upper back. Lift your heart. Noticing where you are with this in terms of movement. Noticing that communication. And then exhale. Inhale to bring your weight forward. Exhale back. Not a big range of motion. Inhale forward and back. Really working here on stabilizing muscles in the joints and balance, communication in the body. Then take both hands on that front leg. Inhale to come forward. Stay here. Take the opposite arm, so the right arm on the outside of the left knee. Take the left hand on your waist. Push down into the ground to get tall in your spine. And now try to turn your heart to the left. So coming into this position, push that left foot into the ground a lot, that left heel. Lots of glute work. You might even feel the glute muscles pretty strong, pretty active here. Push down into the ground, tall with your body. Maybe you feel a little stretch on the right lower belly area. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring both hands on, bring yourself up, bring yourself out. So bringing in safe spinal rotation. That helps to stimulate bone growth in the spine. Bringing the right foot forward. Make sure the right foot is forward, more forward than the knee. And then pause here. You can let your right hand be on your thigh. Let your left arm be down alongside your body. And then let your mind go into your body. Bring your awareness to your left hip. Notice what you notice there. The right foot. Is your foot dancing? Your ankles are dancing, moving around, trying to figure out where you are. And then take your left hand on your waist, right hand on your thigh. Exhale. Inhale to bring your body weight forward a little. And then back. Keep looking up, loading up the front, and then coming back into that hip joint. And bring yourself forward. We're going to add rotation. So push the right hand into the leg, get tall, and then bring your left hand onto the outside of the right leg. Take your right hand onto your waist. Push your arm into your leg. Push your foot into the ground. Feel that glute area. Notice the movement in your joints, trying to figure out where your body is in space. Proprioceptive nervous system at work. Take one more breath. Bring yourself forward. Bring yourself out. All the way down. And then come down into whatever's a resting position for you. Close your eyes. Let your awareness go to your hips, your belly, your low back, noticing what you notice. And then open your eyes. So the stabilizing muscles that actually are in the joints, holding the joints together, working the joints, they're not really big muscles like our quads and our glutes and the larger muscles. So when we do some of this, we load into a joint, put our body in a position that it needs to stabilize. We're working on smaller muscles. And that's why it's nice to notice what you feel. There was a lot of core work in that because the stabilizing the trunk stability muscles were active there, trying to figure out where you are and to keep you from falling, because that's the real goal of what's happening. So let's move into another one that is balance. It's called balance half moon. It's a modified half moon because we're on the ground here. So let's come with the block in your right hand. Bring your left hand forward. Let me see what this would be like if we did it like this. Maybe we'll try it like this. See if this is a little bit easier. Let's try it like this. Let's take the block on the ground and take your left hand on the block. Bring your right hand onto like cupcake, like you're holding a frosted cupcake. Walk your knees back so that you have space between your knees and your hands. And then the left foot, pick the left foot and move the left foot off to the side. Take your right hand onto your waist and then push your left
hand into the block, left leg into the ground. You could keep your right toes onto the ground for balance as you bring yourself up, and then lengthen your right leg long. Bring your right leg, lift your right leg. So come into the balance. And from here, right arm into the sky, push the right hand back, lift that right leg a lot. You could stay here. If you want a little more, if you have it, bend the right foot, bring the right heel as close as you could get it to the tushy, reach down to grab the top of the right foot. It should be right there. You shouldn't have to bend the front of your spine to get it. So you do not want lower ribs to come closer towards the pelvis. So try to come into this if you have that ability. Push your right foot into your hand, supporting yourself in this back bend if it's available to you. Take one more breath. Come back into half moon. And then slowly bring your leg down. Bring yourself out and up. Take a pause for a second. We strengthen the neck as well as we are coming into that. Let's flip the toes under, stretch the toes. Try to really stretch the toes under. Sit back onto your heels and then bring the ankles together. Really stretch the feet as much as you can here. That's where all that communication is taking place, is in the feet. Get your block. Bring your block up to the top of your mat. And then bring yourself up. We're going to go to the other side. So let's take the block on the right side. Right hand is on the block, right knee is on the ground. Left hand becomes holding a frosted cupcake. And you're going to pick your right foot up, move your right foot off to the right. And bring your left hand onto your waist and start to open up your pelvis. So opening up your hips forward. The toe on the ground will help to stabilize you, or you could lift it up and bring it to the side. So coming into this side, let's inhale to lift the leg up. The hand. And then explore on this side. If you are able to bend the left foot slowly, bringing the left heel close to the tushy so that you reach back and hold on to that foot without bending your spine. Bring yourself back. And from here, slowly bringing yourself out. Stretching a different part of the foot. If you're able to, sitting on your heels, you're going to reach down, hold on to the knee, and lift the knee away from the ground. So you're sitting on your heels, you reach down, and you lift that knee away from the ground, stretching the top of that foot. Now, when I did that right now, I feel my spine moving. I hear clicking of my lower spine when I lifted up my foot to stretch the front of my foot. So all of these movements are moving joints and have the potential to affect the joints. Reach down to the other side, lifting the foot up. Try to keep your body weight centered and not off to the opposite side.
And then bring your leg down. So let's go onto our bellies. We're going to strengthen our back muscles. So bring your blanket down to about the lower third of your mat. Bring your knees to the end of your blanket. Let's take let's take our strap. Take your strap and loop your strap. If you don't have the ability to loop the strap, then tie it. Tie it so you have about a shoulder girdle distance. So probably about this far so that your arms are shoulder distance. So either tie it or loop it. Bring the strap onto your shoulders, onto your arms, up towards the shoulders. So here, we're gonna do this right here. Pushing out on the strap. Your knees are at the back end of your blanket. Bring your hands down into the ground. Walk your hands forward. Bring your elbows onto the ground, pushing out so you actually feel the strap activate when you push out. Hands are on the ground. You either stay in the modification of the dolphin plank or you lift your knees off and come into dolphin. Pushing out on the strap to help with support. Push your hands into the ground. Push through your heels. Push your feet into the ground. Take one more breath. Then you bring yourself down. Take your strap off. Come onto your forearms. Make sure your pelvis is on the blanket. Forearms are on the ground. Push your hands into the ground. And then toenails touch the ground. Let's stretch the top part of the psoas, top part of the rotational trunk muscles. Exhale. Inhale, look up and look back over one heel. Lift up. Inhale to the other side. See if you could keep your eyes up high as you look back. And then pay attention to how smooth that movement is in your body. Make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And then bring yourself back. You're going to inhale to get long in your torso. Elbows are out to the side. Let the forehead rest. Wiggle your pelvis back and forth, side to side. Exhale. Inhale, lift your body away from the ground. Exhale to lower. Go slow. Feel your belly area stretch. Inhale, push your nose away like you're moving a marble away from you. And lift yourself up. And then exhale back down. Let the nose push a marble away from you. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then bring yourself down. Take your arms out to the side. Let your palms, so your fingers, we're going to do a cobra. You're going to let your palms be spread. Thumbs are on your mat. Fingers are off. Bring your toes together so the big toes touch. Let all the toes touch the ground. Soles of the feet are up towards the ground. Long spine. Exhale. Bring your forehead down. And as you inhale, push your hands down and try to slide them back towards your legs. And then nose pushes a marble away from you.
lifting yourself up and away from the ground and slowly back down.
Bending your spine one vertebra at a time. Inhale, start with the nose, pushing a marble away, chin pushes away,
Neck is bending. Now bring that into the upper spine, towards the shoulder blades, and down.
go slow, close your eyes. On this next one, you're going to come up and stay up there. See if you can feel the muscles of your back activating along your spine as you lift up.
Stay here. Push your heart forward. Push your hands into the ground. Slide your hands back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Fold your hands. Let your legs go wide. Turn into your big toe edge. Wiggle your pelvis side to side and rest your forehead on the back of your hands. And then breathe down to your belly.
Take one more breath. Bend your knees, let your feet flop side to side. And then bring yourself back.
Bring your right hand out. Come onto your right side. So you're on your right side and you're on your blanket. So make sure that your waist is on your blanket. Cradle your right arm so that you could rest your head on your right arm. And then bring your knees up, maybe not quite as high as your hips. Bring the soles of the feet or the inner edges of the feet, the big toe edges of the feet together. Then bring your hand right in front of you like you're holding a frosted cupcake, right in front of where the lower ribs are so you could keep yourself on the side. Exhale. Inhale to lift the knee up. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Keep the feet together. Push the feet into each other when you do this. Feeling that lateral chain, that lateral hip. Getting those external rotators to activate. And then stay up, little pulses. Push the big toes into each other. And then go ahead and rest. Take the legs straight. Bend the left hip that's on top, the left leg. Reach down and grab your foot and stretch the quadricep of the left leg. So if you can't grab the foot, try to grab the pants or socks. Stretching the quadricep, try to keep the knees together and try to unbend the hip. Reach the leg long, try to push that left hip forward. Stretching, let your left elbow go back, left shoulder is open. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself forward and up. Come up. Sit on your tushy on the blanket. Bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet are together, stretching the inner thighs. Push your feet in towards each other. Push your heart forward. Spine is long. And then bring yourself to the other side. Coming onto the left side, you're going to bring yourself down onto the ground.
Cradle your head in your left arm, bending your knees, letting the big toe edges touch, bringing the hand in front of you like you're holding a frosted cupcake. Exhale, and then you inhale to lift the knee up and exhale back. Don't roll in your hips. This is not about how big this movement is. It's about isolating it in the external rotating muscles of the hip joint. So it's not about how high up you get. Keep your leg up, little pulses. And then rest. Take your legs towards straight. The bottom leg can be bent for stability. Bend the right leg, bring the heel close to your tushy. Reach back and grab the top of your foot. Push the front of your hip joint forward. Lengthen the right leg away from you and feel that stretch in your quadriceps. One of them is a hip flexor. Take one more breath. And then bend your knees. Bring your hand onto the ground. Push away, bring yourself up. I want to share one posture with you that's not the best for those with osteoporosis, but it's great for those with low back issues. And so I did this morning and it felt so great. I wanted to share it with you. Making sure that this part of your stomach, of your spine, really making sure that you're not excessively bending in this part of your body. So really bring any flexion that comes into the spine into the whole spine. So this is called rabbit. And this is a way to stretch the low back. So for those of you that can come into this, you take hold of your heels, you push your head into the ground, and then you try to push your back up towards the sky, holding onto your heels, stretching the low back. It's a great low back stretch, but not for everyone. So see if this is something you could try. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. Come down onto the ground. Take your blanket to the top of the mat. Bring yourself onto your side. You're going to need your strap handy. Have your strap handy. Bring yourself down. All the way onto your back. Blanket goes behind your head. Reaching down for the strap. Bring the knees in one at a time. Rock side to side across the top of the pelvis. And then let's start to bend and unbend your legs. And start to reach through the heels up towards the sky. So lengthening the back of the leg, maybe feeling this coming into the calves. And then bend your knees. Take the strap, put the strap on the feet, both of them. Then take your feet to be about the width of your body. Wrap your hands around the strap. And then you're going to bend the knees a little, bring the knees towards your chest. And then from here, pull the strap back. See if you can feel that stretch in the glutes, the hamstrings, the back of the body. Only doing what's appropriate for you. Push your pinky toe edges into the strap. Take one more breath. And then bring your legs back. Straighten your legs if you can. They're only body distance, so don't have them too much wider. And then guide them back towards the wall behind you with straight legs if you can, reaching the heels up. Take one more breath. And then bring your legs up. Take the strap, take your legs really wide. You're still holding onto your strap. Legs are pretty wide here. And then bend the knees, draw the knees towards your armpits. Soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Stretching the hips, stretching the spine, the lower back. Take one more breath. Bring your legs up. Take the strap off to the side. Knees are into the chest. Maybe you'll need your block for this. We're going to do a gentle twist to end. So you might need the block on the right. Just have it there just in case. Let's bring the knees over to the right side to do a twist. Try to keep the left shoulder blade on the ground. And this is where you may need the block underneath or in between the legs to help you. Let your right hand come on top of left leg. Reach your left hand away from you and then let your head go towards the left. Close your eyes. Breathe to the left side. Take one more breath. Take the block with you if you need. You're going to bring your knees up to center and let your lower body be what moves to the side in your twist. Try to keep the rib cage on the ground. Keep the shoulder blades on the ground. This is where you may need the block on the left side to help if you need it. Take your left hand on top of your right leg. Reach along with your right arm. Gaze is towards the right. Eyes are closed. Stretch your body and breathe to the right side. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself back to center, rocking side to side. Coming into final rest, either come into Shavasana like this or grab your bolster or blankets and put it underneath your knees. Kariyam Nirname Akame Gobinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nirname Akame Gobinde Mukande Udare Apare Kariyam Kariyam Nirname Akame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam 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 Kariyam Nirname Akame. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest. Come onto your side. Pushing away from the ground, bring yourself up. Close your eyes. Bring your hands together at your heart. Press your heart to your hands, hands to the heart. Let's close with a humming sound. Exhale. Inhale. Bowing in gratitude. So in this practice today, lots of joint focus. I felt my spine moving a lot in many of the different positions we were in, because that's something that happens for me ever since my hip replacement. Whatever the reasons are, my chiropractor says it's because I have so much mobility in my joints because I practice yoga and movement so much that I still am really mobile and it hasn't gotten stuck or sticky. So I felt all of that adjusting that took place today in the practice. So making sure that you stay in an appropriate range of motion when you practice, and always being in your body to know what is the safe range of motion for you, what you should and shouldn't be doing. All right. So Nancy, I think I saw you were here. I did not know you were here at the beginning. How are you? I was just thinking about you and wondering how you're doing. So I hope that you are well. Maybe we'll catch up a little later.
So I hope that that was good for you all. I don't know if you're able to feel any movement. Oh, hi, Martha. I was just thinking about you, Martha. In one of my Facebook groups, there was a girl that was getting ready to go into labor, and she was 14 days past due. So her midwife was recommending castor oil. And I told her I'd had to do that because my third she was born 14 days past her due date. And on day 12, my doula told me the midwife suggested that I drink castor oil. So I had, I think, 6 tablespoons. So I was just thinking about you because I was talking to this woman. I thought, oh, Martha, you're a midwife, right? I'm pretty sure. Stevie, great. Yeah, it is hard, Stevie. That's probably why we need more of it. My teacher in India said the things that we have the hardest time with or that we like the least are the things we need the most. Oh, good, Terry. Great. And Terry, yeah, so I gave a lot of instruction about osteoporosis because not everyone in this class has it. And it's not necessarily a focus, although my focus in everything I do has to do with bones. Yeah, and it didn't really work, but I've realized, Martha, like I've really understood now. I have hip dysplasia and I have this anterior tilted pelvis. So my babies would never drop to put pressure to for effacement or my cervix to open. So I had 2 C-sections and 1 vaginal birth. The vaginal birth was not the midwife, the castor oil, it was my third. And I still didn't go into labor. So yeah, 6 tablespoons on the bathroom, on the toilet all night long, not sleeping. And whatever, she's here. She's amazing, healthy, and she'll be 23 on Saturday. You're welcome, Michael. And Michael, I thought about you with the rabbit posture because your body could go into that shape and that would help to stretch your back. So I know that that's something you could achieve, that rabbit, bending over and grabbing onto your heels. All right. Yeah. Well, honestly, Terry, I was too. And I think I have really good balance. But standing up with 1 foot in front, it's asymmetrical. So it's a lot for your body to manage. And so and Stevie, I was thinking of you as well in that. So that is going to strengthen, your joints are going to get stronger and the muscles and all the little stability aspects of the joints when we do things like that. So it doesn't look like it's a big movement, but there's really therapeutic for healthy aging and healthy balance and all that. All right, I am going to go because I have class in 10 minutes and I need to go make a green smoothie. Thanks so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you when I see you again. All right, and then Martha, I can't remember if you were interested in going to Bali, but I'm doing a Bali trip. I know I'm doing a Scotland trip too. That one's full, but I'm doing a Bali trip in September. So reach out to me if that's something that interests you. And it'll be in my newsletter soon anyway. All right, bye.